and welcome back to another episode of Journal Reading with Lord Folcon. As you can see here, I'm sitting in my chair, my throne. It's not a big throne. I have a bigger throne at High Top Castle that we saw before, but this is just my my throne in my corporation's base, where I sit. Now, let's get started on the journal reading. So, you know the drill. Come to me. What? No, don't. You can't hide from me behind a suit of armor. I can still see you. Come on. Go. Ugh. There. Much better. Now that we've got that set out of the way, let's see. It's a good time. Let's go. Got out. So yeah, my home corporation base, as we can see here. My original castle, but not the castle that I'm the king of. I mean, I'm obviously the king of that, but yes. Anyways, I should probably tell you where we're going. Well, see, I'm not a scavenger hunt type of person, at least. I didn't hide my journals. I made them publicly available. And where do you go for publicly available material? Why, you go to the library, of course. The Enchanted Library, in this case. I'm gonna come in here, climb up these stairs. Ooh, up. Ooh, this is also the enchanting room. That's fun. Ooh, more chests. Alright, but here we go. The Annals of History. The important one. What is this? Okay, that's what that is. I think I have other ones, but I'm not entirely sure where they went. Are they? Oh, that was my bad. I'm trying to set the books on fire. No, okay. Anyways, let us read the Annals of History. As you can see, there are 19 different journals. I'm sorry, they get a little long. So we will do this. Let's just take off a bunch of this. Okay. That's number 10. So that'll be the last one we do. Oh god, there's only 9 slots. Okay, 10 back. And here we are for the journal readings with the Folcon, where you'll see my story and how I came here. I will try to provide commentary where I can, but I'll let the history do the speaking for itself. Book 1. Well, I'm on my way to a new country, Nunava, I think it's called. I had no choice but to leave my old one. My debts had gotten too large, and the mob bosses were searching for me. I need to quit gambling. Hopefully I can reinvent myself in this new place. An old woman gave me these journals. She had some weird glowing eyes, and when she spoke she had a raspy voice that said, "Your mark on this world is not yet made. Record your achievements here so that history may be kept." Kinda weirded me out. So here I am, writing history. Who knows what will happen? Of course, I'll probably end up dead in a gutter. Fate sucks. This is gonna be so tiring. I just want to sleep and be left alone. Sea of Jack, a.k.a. Connor, a.k.a. the Folcon. That was before I became Lord Folcon, of course. Journal 2. Well, I met the ruler of the new country, or realm as he called it. Apparently I'm the first person to come over to it. Had to take a railway from the Sky Castle, which was pretty cool, I must admit. I love the sky. I met him in his new city of Drothrak. It's a nice little town with a hotel, a theater, and a bank. Luckily, he was looking for someone to expand his territory out to the east. Sure, why not? It'll be nice to have my own area, and if he's just giving it away, all the better. It also has a nice wall around it already. I found a good spot for a mine, and I'm going to build a castle on this nice hill I found. The ruler seems to be nice, but I bet that's just a con to get me to build stuff for him. I'm going to end up with a knife in my back. Whatever, I'll just make sure I build up a good defense. That is the role I was given anyways. Jack, the ruler, felt that a country to the east may try to invade, so he made me General of Defense. Well, this is the highest position I've ever had. Connor. And as you guessed, that, it's all dark out. That castle that I built the hill on, that was the one we just came from. My original castle. Journal 3. I repelled off the first attack from the country to the east. They gave no warning, no introduction, not even a request to surrender. They just showed up at our wall with an army and started attacking. Good thing I built up this army. I requested troops from Drothrak. Jack seems to be missing. He left a while ago to the west. I should have guessed that when things started to get tough, my ruler would disappear. Almost called him my savior, since he gave me a new chance on life, but Jesus is my savior. I guess I'll have to get dirty myself. I'm fairly handy in combat from my time running away and sometimes killing mob bosses and their henchmen. Luckily, Drothrak agreed to send support, even in the absence of Jack. Now it's a war. Connor. Well, now you know, I'm also a religious man, sort of, kind of. I don't always believe in religion, that there is something, but in times of need, I still find myself praying. Oh well, on to the next. The war of the unknown is won. I have beaten the enemy, still didn't find out their name, but I did find out their reasoning. Apparently when Jack started building Drothrak, he came across that town and burned it down to the ground. I guess that they provoked him somehow. I guess I can't escape cleaning up rulers' messes, either here or in the old country. I made a killing out of that war, which I think I'll use to start a shipping company. I noticed during the war that there are not a lot of ways to get goods quickly from one place to another. Now that my base is built, I think I'll build a harbor to start my trading company out of. I'll also have to buy a boat. I think I know a guy. He seems pretty knowledgeable. Also, the people seem to have taken a liking to me. They keep calling me a hero for saving them during the war. The name General of Defense is really sticking now. This is gonna get annoying. I hope they don't expect stuff from me. General Folcon. Using my new title to a greater effect. Damn it, I'm an idiot. I bought that boat, but little did I know that it was a friggin' massive. I can't park it at the harbors. Well, I guess it'll just become a floating warehouse, a place to store my books. At least it'll be hard to rob with all the guards I have on it, as well as the fact that it moves from place to place. But I hate that salesman. I had to go back to him and buy a fleet of smaller ships. It cost me a fortune. This company better pan out, otherwise I'm SOL. At least my harbor is built. I better find some villages that aren't burned down to trade with. Although they might be scared if I come in with my army or personal bodyguards. Oh yeah, I have those now. I guess I'll just go on my own to these villages and maybe I'll bring them gifts of peace. Using my new military power might be a good thing to advertise for the protection aspect. My job is to protect Drothrak, and the best way I can think of is to make peace with everyone. That war was horrible. I saw the horrors of the world. When I think about it, everything seems a little darker. I guess that's how the world is, though. Cold and broken. I still haven't seen the ruler Jack recently. I miss not having responsibilities. I wish he would come back and take them off with me. Connor. And journal number 6. Score I was able to make a treaty with a nearby village. At first they were scared of me and didn't trust me. They had heard about the demon Folcon who savagely ripped apart his enemies in the War of the Unknown. Fortunately, I was able to use that to my advantage, promising them to protect them from bandits that had plagued them recently. Also, as a show of good faith, I built them a wall of nether brick, telling them that I meant them no harm and just wanted to help them. It also helped that I had built a fort, Fort Percy, just east of them. I told them that the soldiers at Fort Percy were there just to protect the area, but I left the threat of their invasion hanging in the air. They chose the smart option and accepted my treaty. I feel a little bad about threatening them, but I must have peace at any cost. I have become cold, man, in this past year. Has it really only been a year? My, how the days fly by and grow colder each day. Maybe I'll go to the north, now that my trading company has taken off. I don't know much of what's in the north past the jungle. Perhaps I can build a proper castle there. And that becomes my first castle, as you know, the High Top Castle. So let's continue on and read about it. There was a beautiful landscape and mountain up here in the north, a perfect place for a city and a castle. I've cleared off the top of the mountain and have started the castle. It's going to be awesome, with a tall tower and a throne room. I already have a throne room in my company's headquarters, but it's so tiny because I had to make room for nothing. I had to make room for nothing. Anyways, this one will be much bigger. I found some other villages around my area, including one with a curious portal and tree, and another where all the residents like to walk around in their underwear. They call it a Speedo, but I don't see the difference. They also said their professional sport was manscaping, but I was too scared to ask how to do it. Apparently it's some kind of contest. I made a treaty with them, but as part of it, whenever I'm there, I'll have to wear one of these Speedos too. It's going to be a pain, but anything in the name of peace. Speaking of peace, I've started building forts throughout the realm. The best way to know where trouble is brewing is to have lookouts everywhere, throughout the four corners of this world. They'll also make good defenses. Lord Folcon, King of High Top. And that's how I became King Folcon, in a sense. The King of High Top. And a Lord at that. Jack has returned. I was so happy that I may have cried a bit, but don't tell Jack. I think I'm weird. Now he can help with some of the responsibilities of protecting this country. Not that it hasn't been profitable for me. My company has expanded a lot, and I now own 9 forts, a castle, and a corporation. Still, making peace treaties everywhere has become exhausting. I had to learn additional skills like ninjutsu. I also had to hire knights for High Top Castle and High Top City. Still, I can't be mad at him, especially since he gave me an amazing gift. He hadn't looked any older than when I last saw him 2 years ago, and he told me the secret lying in a potion he had taken. He gave me that potion, and when I drank it, I felt so much more empowered. I felt younger than I had in days. I think I'm going to use this new energy to become a vigilante. Jack said that the potion makes it so that we are immortal, so I might as well become like Batman and fight crime throughout the realm. I'll be called the Folcon. By the way, I have no idea who Batman is, just some voice in my head told me to say that reference, and said it would make sense. I have the perfect spot for my Connor cave as well. I will keep this land peaceful if it kills me, which it won't now. And that's how I became the Folcon. I mean, obviously I'd adopted it before, and people call me the Demon Folcon. I don't think they'd make the connection that the Folcon is the vigilante is the same as the Demon Folcon. Their people are not smart, obviously. Page Journal 9. So I guess I misunderstood. The potion Jack gave me makes me eternally young, but I can still die by other means, like stabbing. Learned this the hard way, when I got stabbed while vigilanteing it up with my butler, Jacques. I could feel the life draining out of my body. Thank God for Jacques. He had some healing potions on him that patched me right up. When I asked Jack about it, he explained it to me. Well, so much for immortality. Jack himself has become obsessed with studying magic, searching high and low for books on it. All the better for me. Magic will be great if we ever have to go to war. Well, Jack mysteriously disappears sometimes, and there have been reports of a curious number of interesting individuals throughout the realm. Just the other day, I hired one called Jay the Silent to help me with a problem I had at the burned-down village. I felt that it would be a good place to hide some military items, but some snooping archaeologist professor and his team started checking it out. They were swiftly taken care of. Jack also came by one day and explained how anvils work, which is good. A blacksmith had just moved into my area, and I wanted to sound smart when I asked him to become my royal blacksmith. Connor. And those are those journals, so we can put them back and read the 10th journal. Rumors from the Far East say that a new empire has formed, the Keye Empire, it's called, or so my spies report. I'm glad I have all 11 forts built so that I'll know if they ever turn a conquering eye this way. The bad news is that the Desert King out east, who Jack called King Khufu, has lost his lead commander Nitsua. Nitsua is a good friend of mine, helping me form a trading post out there. King Khufu had declined my offer since it didn't bring him any treasure. Nitsua was able to talk him into allowing me to build, telling King Khufu that trading could bring him a profit. He also helped me build Fort Frank and train my soldiers there. I'm sad that he's missing, though my spies tell me that a certain two brothers seem to have taken an interest in him. I hope he's still alive. Jay the Silent tipped me off that King Khufu sent the good commander to search for treasure, so I hope he's just stuck in some cave and has not fallen into any traps that always seem to accompany treasure. I don't have much hope, though. With Jack disappearing all the time and a powerful enemy rising in the east, things are looking bleak. These next few years are sure to be a pain. I don't want to have to deal with another war. My demons seem to come alive in battle. I feel like I'll fall into a deep depression that I can't escape if I allow myself to be ruled by them. If I find Jack and Nitsua, I think I propose a team-up so that we can keep our people safe. Connor. And that was Book 10 of the Annals of History 1 through 10. Now we'll move on to the Annals of History 11 through 19. This was like pre-Key in the Annals, and this is like the Key Annals. So let's continue on. And it added them the wrong way. Whatever. Journal 11. Well, a lot has happened since I last wrote. King Khufu was slain by a man named Relhan. I've heard that this Relhan can't be killed. This interests me. He has since taken over the castle of King Khufu and has acquired another castle called the Scorpion Castle. Also, an ominous portal was found by some of my miners. I immediately sent word to Jax when he could be found, since he is the expert on magic. He seemed really excited about this portal and studied it, and a magical book he found next to it. Later, the whole ground quaked as he tried out a spell, which erected huge walls of bedrock around an island to the east. I found him passed out in the middle of the island, and he didn't wake up for 30 days. Finally he did, and he went on about portals and potions and magic. He ran off into the hills, and I decided just to leave him alone. He's acting stranger and stranger these days. I feel like there's something going on with him, but I don't know what. Magic man, I thought. I thought it might be our salvation, but maybe it just leads to our insanity. But that's the rhythm and flow of the world. Crap goes around in a cycle and messes with people's lives. Where's the love? People killing, people dying. Because Relhan has now declared war on the Annie Castle, one of Jack's personal castles. I'm going to try to hold peace talks. Hopefully Jack can help me with it. As long as he doesn't lose his mind during these talks, I think we'll be okay. Lord Folcon. The story spices up, as we already know what happens, but let's see it from my point of view. Well, the peace talks were interesting. Turns out Relhan was a bloodthirsty maniac. Jack and I walked in and were immediately captured. Luckily, the guard Syrah recognized me. He's one of the most promising recruits that Commander Nitsua and I trained. We were granted an audience with Relhan. Jack noticed that he had a curse of undying around him and offered to cure him. Relhan refused and then attacked Jack. The weirdest thing was that Jay the Silent suddenly appeared and helped Jack fight Relhan. What was really strange was that Jack would randomly disappear, and that's when Jay would appear, and vice versa. I could never see the two of them at the same time, although they would launch attacks at the same time. I have a feeling I know what's been going on with Jack, but I must observe him for now. I'll set some of my best spies on him when I can't personally do it myself. In either case, Jack killed Relhan, but being truly undying, he came back right back alive. Seemed to forget who he was, though. In a brilliantly cunning move, Jack tricked Relhan into accepting a gift that was really the counterspell to the curse of the Undying. Now Relhan is immortal like Jack and I, but can die a normal death. Also, we discovered that Relhan was really Commander Nitsua. Being scrambled as he is, Jack decided to start calling him Austin, though I preferred Nitsua. I'm overjoyed that Nitsua is alive and well. Turns out he discovered the treasure, but it drove him crazy along the way. He emerged from the labyrinth with the treasure and was filled with bloodlust. He took revenge on the one King Khufu, although he didn't remember why he hated the man. With his newfound army, he became bent on ruling the world. Luckily, Jack was able to restore him mostly to normal. He doesn't remember his past. He isn't trying to kill us, so that's good. He seems to still enjoy killing, but as long as it's not us. Peace is reached, and I have research to do. Hopefully what I find can help create the trio of my dreams. Jack, Austin, and I, Connor, will become an invincible force. And we don't have to worry about the invasion from Keye Empire. The world just seems to be out to make me suffer, I guess, though. And that's number 12. So now we'll go on to Journal 13. I believe I was correct. I have been following Jack, and he seems to have multiple personality disorder, although this is the weirdest case I've ever seen. His personalities can exist at the same time and even interact with each other, although only one can have physical form at a time. I know this because when I observe them in conversation with each other, I can only see them one at a time, but they don't disappear and reappear. They both seem to be there, but you can only focus on one at a time. It's weird. He's taken to building a huge castle, Gaia Castle, in the southeast, past Strip City. He's taking the materials from his new strip mine at Strip City. What an odd coincidence, though, building a strip mine in Strip City. Funny coincidental puns aside, he has made a tremendous progress on Gaia Castle. But if rumors are true, the Eastern Front is the most dangerous. The Keye Empire seems to be expanding again. Not to us yet, but other small countries around them. I fear for our future. One of Jack's personalities, Jay the Silent, has started collecting Ender Eyes, and I'm not sure why. I wonder what Jack is planning, or if he even knows what's going on. I must keep the peace, but fate seems to want me to go to war. Jack's vanished again. I lost his trail completely. I don't know where or what he's doing, which is terrible timing, of course, as refugees have come pouring into Nunava from the east. The Keye Empire has continued their domination, and the people are mass fleeing smaller countries. They are scared for their lives and want our protection. I can't turn them away, but with Jack gone, I have to find ways to give them food and shelter and supplies and work. I've put some of them to work in the North Jungle, where the sage Phil lives. Hey, we just saw him join. We come back to the realm. He was gone away on a business trip, but he is back now. That's who had just joined. Anyways, the sage Phil lives. I also have incorporated a lot of them into the army and placed them at various forts and castles. Castle D'Angelo is now heavily fortified and should not have to fear attack. More have joined Folcon's shipping company as well. Also, with the discovery of the power of flight, I have had to build airports all over the place to keep up with the shipping industry. Now my new pilots can get goods around even faster. Still, with my apprentice, the Truth Seeker, disappearing in the north, and Jack still gone, an invasion may fall on Nitsua and myself. The invasion might fall on Nitsua and myself. We can expect aid from the Eden Castle and from Drothrak. On a lighter note, I have taken up a project. Since Nitsua is still having memory problems and Jack is having his own issues, I'm going to build hidden shrines all over the land to commemorate this history. Some may say that it's a waste of resources with an oncoming war and a refugee crisis, but I can't get that old woman I met on my way to this nation so many years ago. I must record history. These journals are a good start, but as three immortals, it would be good to elevate Jack, Austin, and my own statuses to that of legends. The shrines will eternally etch our stories into history. Connor. And that's how I built my hidden shrines. Ooh, there's 11. I always forget the number. Whatever. Moving on. It's been 5 years since I last recorded any history. Jack's been missing for these past 5 years, and I'm starting to get worried. He's immortal, but not undying. Usually, he pops in, or else I can discover a trace of one of his personalities, but nothing. This time, I'm not as worried about Drothrak, as there are not many people living in it besides the soldiers who are governed by the General of Attack Austin and the General of Defense myself. We're looking over the kingdom fairly well. The refugee crisis has kept us busy, but we have a good system in place now. Our ranks have swelled, and the community homes we've built have helped those fleeing from foreign countries to find shelter easily if they don't have money. My shrines are all built, and I have placed clues to their hiding spots in the chest in my room. Hopefully this helps keep the history preserved, not to mention me and Nitsua sane. If we end up living for thousands of years, we may forget many of them. Fate just likes to screw with us, and I'm sure we'd end up forgetting important parts of our past. So hopefully by immortalizing parts of it, we can keep centuries straight. War is still brewing, but we haven't had any direct fights with the Keye Empire yet. It's only a matter of time. No matter how I try to keep peace, sometimes it seems war is the only path to peace. I guess I must play along with this twisted world's rules a little longer. General Folcon. We're nearing the end. 4 journals left. Jack's been missing for 12 years now. On an unrelated note, Jock, my butler, has been on his honeymoon for 12 years as well. I miss both of them. They're able to liven up my days, plus it's so much work without them. Jack disappearance has even gotten the nobles to drop for talking, especially since peace talks with the Keye Empire has failed. I have sent ambassadors over, but all of them have been sent back. The last one I sent told me that they threatened to kill the next one I sent. So instead, I went over there myself. I didn't bring Nitsua along. He still likes to attack first, talk second, and that wouldn't help in these peace talks. However, it might have been good to bring him, for when I showed up, I was fired upon immediately. If not for my ninjutsu and for the armor I was able to craft thanks to Jack Nitsua's advice, I probably would not be standing here. The talks have failed, and the first battles have already broken out. The Keye Empire will not listen to reason. It wants to just conquer. I don't know how it will turn out. I hated the last war. I'm sure this one will be much longer, much bloodier, and much worse. I hope Jack returns soon, if he's alive. I'm scared. We've been at war for a year now, with the Desert King Austin providing a piercing attack to the northern part of Keye. He has razed many villages to the ground. I hate the sight of people in pain, but what can I do? We need to win this war. This becomes ever more apparent as I mount my defense of our southeastern borders. While Austin is attacking northern Keye, Keye sends troops out of southern Keye to attack us. As general defense, I have been constantly on the front lines in our southeastern border, fighting the never-ending tide of the purple-headed Keye soldiers. Somehow, each day, I make it through, but many of my comrades have died. I pray to God that my shrines to Jesus please him so that I may come out of this war alive, and that my troops live as well. I've never been a religious man, as one who's eternally young, but war has a way of changing that. This bleak world made me feel that there would be no use for prayer, but now in my desperate hours I want nothing more than to believe that I'm here for a higher purpose, believe that I can change the world for the better, that I can reverse fate's cruel cycle and end hate's cruel reign. Who am I kidding, though? What can one man do? I have no power over fate, or hate, or love. History will forget us all eventually, and nothing can last forever. Soon, we may be just memories in the Keye Empire's conquest. Another kingdom to have fallen. But I'm not done fighting yet. Connor. We did it! We won! The war is over! Jack, after being gone 13 years, has finally returned, and just in the nick of time. Just as the Keye Empire seemed to be gaining the upper hand over Austin and I, Jack showed up and turned the tide. Using his magic, he was able to help us slaughter the enemy forces en masse. What could the Keye Empire do but fall down before us and surrender? Jack seems to have worked out himself as well, now in full control of all of his personalities. Self-aware, he will be even more dangerous as he is now essentially limitless people. He's able to be in multiple places at once and knows all that is happening to his different personalities when they exist. Although this has made him rather quirky, it was a valuable asset against the Keye Empire. They have retreated back beyond the mountains from which they were originally from, the country of Keye. Although Austin calls to attack and invade Keye and finish this war by slaughtering the rest of our country, I am against this. I'm tired of bloodshed and don't want to see anyone else hurt, either on our side or the Keye side. This war has been costly enough, and much more people would have to die in order to conquer the well-fortified castle of Keye. Austin thinks the three of us can take it alone, but I think the Keye people are about as tired of this war as I am. I don't think they'll be a threat anymore. Jack decided that we would make peace with them, so us three met with their leader, King Jiaf. He agreed to step down from the throne. and let the people elect a new ruler and end the war between us. I'm glad that we no longer had to fight to win this war. However, with the three of us back together, I suggested we travel together, exploring our lands and far distant lands, having adventures, and travel to hell beyond and back again. They agreed, and leaving our country in the hands of the nobles and others, we have set off to pursue adventure. See if Jack. And the last journal I have for you. It's been a long time since I've written anything down. Excuse my poor handwriting. Jack, Austin, and I have returned from our myriad of adventures over these past 70 years. We have traveled throughout the land, slaying monsters, battling demons, building domains, excavating hell itself, and linking our areas together. We have trained up new soldiers and recruits and have accomplished many great deeds. In the northern arena, we battled a monster called a Wither. We traveled to the Nether and took on gas, Wither, skeletons, and blazes in the Nether fortresses. We have slain the Ender Dragon who lives in the End. We have found the hidden city in the End and discovered its secrets. We've had so many adventures and seen all sorts of lands. Now, as all things do, our adventures have come to an end. Jack and Austin have left to do their own things in their territories, and I've returned to my own to oversee the kingdom of Jack that we built. Jack seems to have disappeared again, but this time I do not worry. Nitsua, or Austin as I've gotten into the habit of calling him, is keeping himself busy working on new redstone inventions. He's also been experimenting with magic, though I warned him not to fall prey to the same madness as before, or as with Jack. If there is a god or gods out there, they seem to have smiled on us as life has turned out okay. I've went from a broke thief on the run from mob bosses to a king in one of the greatest realms ever created. May Nunava last long. Of course, I've never been able to shake my fear that this cannot last. Human greed is too great, and sooner or later tyrants will rise again. Though, who's to say we aren't tyrants, never aging or eternally ruling? People are selfish, but at least for now, I'm happy to leave that worry for another day. Maybe a new hero will rise. Who knows? For now, I will just watch on, observing the world. Maybe that will change my mind about human wickedness. And in any case, I'll be here, at a place I can finally call home. This will be my last journal of this era. The creation era has ended. Now we shall see what the next era has in store for us. Until I write again, stay safe, be well, and keep an eye on your wallet when walking down the street. General Connor. And those are all the journals of this realm that you have read, not of Nunava. Us and the Nunavian forces have kept up that. Although, fun note, this banner right here is actually the Keye Empire banner, a symbol of the key. And speaking of which, I'm going to give you guys a little extra treat. Let's read the Nunavian journals, if I remember where I put them. I thought I'd put them in here, but I think I'm wrong. Let's see. No. Aha. I think this might be it. No. This is not it. Put that back. Put that away. Let's see. Maybe I put them inside my place. Okay, we're gonna enter the store this time. Yes, how you doing? Good to see you too. Awesome, awesome. Let's go into my private chambers. Nothing fancy, but what do you expect? Aha! Found it. Alright. Is that right there? And remove the journals. Alright. Starting in 11,000 Key Standard Time, or KST as it's called. Now, I did not write these journals, but we will find out who wrote these. This is journals I found in the Keye Empire after our conquering of them, and since then as well. So, this is a little bonus journal for you. Today we have finally met a worthy opponent on the field of battle. Although we of the Keye Empire have conquered many countries, we have not come across one that has put up much resistance. But that changed as of today. We had our sights on a kingdom much larger than we ever had before, called Nunava. It's led by some trio called Jack, who's at least that's what our spies kept recording. It's apparently made up of different kings who have banded together under the Supreme King Jack. Him with his two generals, Austin and Connor, make up Jack Trio, it seems, although there are other kings in the alliance with them. King Jack seems to be known as the Conqueror, but we're a nation who's known for conquering. This will be a good war. We also got word that the king, Jack, has been missing for 12 years. Making this the optimal time to attack. Their general of defense, Connor, tried to talk peace first. Ha! Why waste time compromising when you can just take all that you want after you destroy a kingdom? The fool sent an ambassador after ambassador, till finally he came himself. I must say I'm impressed with him, even if he is a fool. He walked into an ambush alone, but he managed to escape with his life. Even took out a few of our archers. This fighter may be one worthy of worth taking down. Now that war has begun, we shall see who emerges the victor. Captain Victor Castle, Key Elite Squadron. And so that is who has written these journals. His name is Victor Castle, and he became a general in the Keye Empire throughout the war. So let's go 1101 and find out more. 1101 KTS, or Key Standard Time. Should be KST, but whatever. What a war! What a marvelous enemy to destroy. We've been at war a year now. With Nunava, neither side seems to have the advantage. The Nunavian general of attack Austin has been razing villages along North Key in his blistering attack, well deserving of his name, the Desert King. However, as he marches further into Key territory, coming to the border of the original Keye Empire, or Key country, he has been slowed immensely. Our best defenses line our original border. I have lead troops in defense. That means I have led troops in defense of the border a few times since the beginning of this war. Enough so that I have received the medal Champion of the People from King Jiath. The people have been stopping me on the streets and thanking me for my service. I play along because I know it's expected of me, but the praise wears on me. I only fight for the feeling of power I get as I smash a man's head into the ground, and as I swing my axe into their face. I take an immense amount of glee from besting an enemy, knowing I was a better fighter, a better man than they were. Still, these civilians are proud Key citizens, so I try my best to please them. However, more often than not, I've been up on the front lines, leading the assault, on the South Key. Out on the South Key. Since North Key is being pressured by the Desert King, we felt our best area to attack would be southern Nunava. We took a good amount of territory down there, but as we have been essentially halted by their general defense, who fights on the front lines for them, we have been at an impasse, unable to take Castle D'Angelo or Keye Castle. Keye Castle is the hardest we've ever set to take, as it is brilliantly mounted, much like our own, inside of a mountain. This gives them an aerial advantage and allows their arrows a much further reach than ours, which is why we first set up to capture Castle D'Angelo, but we can get nowhere near it. Their general defense, Connor, is a brilliant tactician. We have fallen into trap after trap of his, and we have been outmaneuvered in every battle, with troops directly under his control. Part of the problem is Connor himself, or as he's known around camp, the demon Folcon. He tears through our troops like they're nothing. I haven't fought him personally yet, as I'm usually coordinating an attack, or in some other area, but I saved the chance to. He will be a satisfying kill, cementing my status as one of the greatest warriors in all of history. Captain Victor, Castle, Key Elite Squadron. 1102 KST KTS winner. The war has taken a turn for the worse. King Jack has returned from who knows where and has been winning battles left and right. I haven't personally seen him in action, as I've pulled back to defend King Jeff, as there are rumors that the assassin Jade Silent has returned as well, not to mention the other assassins in employ of the demon Folcon. The soldiers that have come back from the field of battle describe the King Jack like fighting 50 men at once. They just keep on insisting on this point. One even said, no, he is literally fighting as 50 people at once, though I think his mind was disoriented as he had been knocked over the head with a hotel bell in the last battle. What a weird weapon of choice. In any case, the Nuvian forces have been making advances in the Keye Empire, with the Jack trio combining their forces and their skills together to form one lethal unit. Their power is unbelievable. That just one person can change a war so drastically. I hope they arrive at the castle soon. I've been begging King Jeff to let me go out and fight them myself, but he doesn't want me to leave his side, the coward. It won't matter soon. They shall arrive here, and I will tear them to pieces and show how dominating of a fighter I am. None can stand up to me, not even rumored immortals. At least I got a promotion. Commander Victor Castle, Key Squadron. An old text I found. Historium is known Misnin Loca Respiratoiter Recalo Netherrumpado Pertel Dales Netheric Fior Lampalic Alimamo Destrodio Listava Miracle Curali Obsidiasal Curasis Inferni Lani Patoral Mikalam Furen Meyer Steyrs Avibdale Maxulach Dramora Infelt die End Dragora Infelt die End Intel Erect Portalis Tor die End Machzulach Unan Lesterich Obgale lo End Mai do Eden Regalis. Spell of Power. That was an interesting conclusion to that. Let us move on to the next journal. 1103. How humiliating. Our country surrendered to Nunava, having been pressed into siege of the castle. They sent a request for peace talks, and my foolish King Jeff agreed. The coward did not want to risk his precious life. Too bad for him, he was executed for his weakness. He made the deal with Jack the Trio, agreeing to step down and let the people choose the next king. Many put my name forward, but I didn't want the title. I would much rather be on the field of war than be stuck in a castle. King Joseph was elected, but he's a weak fool who fears Jack after seeing what the demon Folcon, the Flame Master Desert King, and the many-faced King Jack could do to our troops. Luckily, he also fears me, so I've been able to direct him in the way I want. I can't get him to do anything against Nunava or anywhere that's protected by them, but I have been given access to my own lab in the castle cavern. It looks like our friend Phil has left Nunava again back on the business trip. But I have been given access to the castle cavern. I'm going to gain more power so that I can challenge Nunava myself. I tried when the trio arrived at the castle for the peace talks, but was thrown down right as I went to stab Jack from behind. It was almost as if he could see behind him, as he reached up and grabbed my hand without even looking. He tossed me aside and called me weak. I will never forget that. He'll be begging for the depths of hell once I'm through with him. I've decided to try to increase my power with potions, but if that doesn't work, I may have to try out that mysterious spell of power I found. I'm a little suspicious of it, as I don't know what it actually says. I consulted a scholar. They said it was an old, forgotten language from the men of old, but no one speaks that language anymore. From the little that could be deciphered, it seemed to be a spell to grant power, but it is not certain the price or what else it entails. I will have to take that chance if I can't make the right potion. General Victor, Castle, Key Country. 11:10. I finally have power! My numerous potions were not enough. They did not give me the amount of power I craved. Yes, they did enhance my physique and destructive powers, but they did not bring me to the level of Jack. I tried training intensely as well, but I finally had to resort to that spell, and it worked! Though not as I thought it would. It opened a portal to another dimension. 2 portals, actually. Through one that was black as night, a being stepped through. It called itself Obgala of the End, a true live actual demon from the End dimension. Obgala offered to grant me my wish for power in exchange for this realm. He told me he would give me the power to conquer the world if I would give him what I conquered in return. I would be his vassal. I accepted, of course. What use have I for this world when I have the power to defeat Jack? He opened another portal to hell itself and warned me that my enemies have traveled through hell and tamed it, and that they had defeated the Ender Dragon, ruler of the End. Since he had been the dragon's only son, he was the Prince of the End, and as when I brought him the world with the heads of Jack on a plate, he would become ruler of the End, the master of the worlds. Let them fear me, and I will bring about their destruction. Not only did the demon's gift grant me the ability to train in the nether, making me immune to fire, and improving my magical skills, it also made me undying. I had no longer age and have the same gifts of power that Jack has, but so much better, as that came with immense power. I can now break obsidian, and even better off with a single swipe of my hand. They will not stand a chance against me. One curious thing about this deal is that obsidian has started to expand out from the nether portal. Already it has encased the floor of the castle cavern, which I have renamed Castle Cavern. I don't know its purpose, but it seems to be slowly expanding west toward Nunava. I don't know what to make of it. Unfortunately, Jack seems to be missing. They have vanished, leaving their subordinates in charge. Who knows how long they will be gone? I have no use for the destruction of their country, unless they are there, so I shall await their return. Then I shall use the Keye Empire to annihilate Nunava and Jack. But for now I wait. Maybe I'll wait in the far west, where I can monitor Nunava and surprise their forces once I make my move. Mage General Victor Castle, Key Country Magistrate. While I wait, I may as well research more magic. I hear that's what King Jack did. Maybe I will out-magic him. Ha 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 ha, and you get the point. Too many ha's for me. I don't do ha's that much. Question mark, question mark, question mark, KST. I don't know what year it is anymore, but Jack has returned. I sense the three of them enter the realm of Nunava. Though I had done that multiple times throughout these last decades. Has it been decades? But this time, they stood around. The Desert King has returned to his palace, and the demon Folcon has taken backup residence in his company's headquarters. Wait, that's where I am now. I'm not sure about the Money-Faced King, as his magic makes him hard to detect. He has shielded himself well, and sometimes I sense him in other places at once, which must be his way of throwing me off, sending out decoy signals. No matter, I make my move now. I have returned to the Key Country, which has wasted away while I have been gone, and I killed the king, King Kore, and took the throne. The people bowed down before me, and I have promised them revenge on the country that destroyed their wealth and prosperity. They hear stories of the wealth of old, and after seeing my power, they have accepted my rulership, believing I will lead them to wealth and prosperity. I think that's what he meant to say. Like before, and I shall lead them to victory over Nunava, where they can have all the wealth they want, until the demon comes to claim them. I have secretly inserted troops all over Nunava, who has grown lax in these peace times. With the absence of their supreme king again, their borders are weak. The demon Folcon and the Desert King still carefully watch the realm, but they cannot see everything. I have moved a large force to the west, near the end castle. This is where we'll strike first. Once that castle has fallen, the others will no longer have the support of those who financially backed them during the last war. They will then fall quickly. Then I shall move onto the rest of Nunava, and I now begin my reign and conquest. King Victor Castle. Well, that was some interesting news. Excuse me for a moment. I have to, let's see, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. We are going to, I'm going to have you leave for a moment, because it seems like our countries are going to be under attack soon. This should be interesting. I need to put out lookouts. I wonder if that was a decoy. That was a weird placement of the thing. Anyways, thank you for coming, and thank you for reading the journals with me, but as you can now tell, it seems one of my greater foes may have unlocked immortality and unlimited magical power, as well as be planning an attack on my realm right now. So, get out of my body. Thank you. Alright, well, get going. Warn the people. I guess that's what I have to say. This has been Lord Folcon, and you've been given a message. Then now you know the history of our country. Well, bye.